Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Z Gamer,
I'm May.
and this is
This is a movie review that I'm doing.
So she kicked around the idea of it. It's not something that we're gonna do regularly, I don't think, because movies are expensive. But to just add to the channel of randomness and see what hits.
Yeah, my channel doesn't really have a schedule like most big YouTubers have.
That's okay. I'm cool with that. So anyway, what did we see Friday night?
Was it Friday night?
Or was it Thursday night?
I think it was Thursday.
I think it was Thursday night. Anyway, so
we saw Bohemian Rhapsody,
which is the
Freddie Mercury biopic.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yes.
Okay.
I will be quiet for this part because...
Why would you be quiet when you were the main
Because here's the thing. I have studied Queen a lot. They're one of my top 5 favorite bands. And so I know a lot about it, and I'll give my review in a minute, but you don't know much about Freddie Mercury. So what did you think of the film?
I liked it.
Anything in particular?
There was no buts because I don't know anything about Freddie. I knew he was gay. Well, apparently he was actually bi.
Okay.
Unless he was just experimenting with Mary. And I knew he died from AIDS. But I did not know he was, the first big person to die from AIDS. I wasn't aware that was a thing.
Did you know much about Queen before?
No.
So you were excited to...
I mean, I liked Queen. It was an oldie band that I listened to. It was on the oldies station that I grew up with.
Okay.
But, I like biopics because I don't know everything. So, I just...
Visually, was the movie good?
I liked it. I mean, he looked like Freddie.
Musically, or,
I mean, he sounded like Freddie.
Alright.
I don't know if that was enhanced or anything.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend it?
No, because you said it was inaccurate.
Well, no, but would you recommend people go see it in theaters? So you wouldn't?
For music purposes, yes.
Okay. So.
But you said it was inaccurate.
So yes, I'll plunge into my part of the review. We'll pick a movie next time that you know lots about and I don't know lots about. So, I enjoyed it. I would still recommend it, but there were several inaccuracies in the film that I did not genuinely appreciate. Obviously, in the first half, they kind of smashed things together like they portrayed. And I'm not going to spoil too much, even though it's really hard to spoil something that people know about for I don't know. Anyway, there will be a spoiler later, and I'll warn you before I get into that. But they kind of smash everything together. The same night he became the lead singer is the same night that he met Mary, which is the same night that... Yeah, I get it. For artistic purposes, they just smashed it together, but didn't really like that aspect because they portrayed him as just kind of randomly walking up and getting in the band when he actually knew Roger, I believe, for a while. Mm-hmm. And they had been friends for 6 years or something before that happened. So they got that a little bit wrong. I did like the fact that they portrayed why can't I think of his name now? The guy who portrayed Freddie. The lead actor. Yeah, I believe that's it. Apologize if I'm butchering his name. But I did like the fact that they portrayed that, he is from Zanzibar and not Pakistan. And so that was something that you'll see creep up in the movie a couple of times and was portrayed well. I thought it was very well done. They did apparently a mixture of his singing and Freddie's actual voice lyrics over it, which was really good because it's just going to be really freaking hard to recreate that voice. And then small minor complaints, his prosthetic for his teeth was a little overdone, but I like the fact that they portrayed they weren't super they didn't straight wash it very bad, which I was kind of happy about.
Yeah, I heard rumors that they had, but
they really didn't. They portrayed him and Mary's relationship really well, I think, based on the fact that they still were friends forever. So here comes the spoiler part of the movie, I guess. So tune out for 2 minutes if you don't want to hear it. But the big climactic part of it was that the band sort of broke up and weren't speaking to each other for several years before Live Aid happened, and that was something that really annoyed me because it's so far from inaccurate. At that point, several of the people in the band had done solo albums, so they set this up in like '82. Mercury parties a lot in Munich, which is historically accurate. He does get into it with his longtime partner, and they break up, which is historically accurate, but the person they portray as the villain isn't accurate. Also, sidebar, what's his name is in the film? Who is it? You're totally surprised to find out is in the movie.
Mike Myers.
Yeah, Mike Myers is in the movie. He portrays this like a-hole from the record company, which isn't actually accurate because the record company was sort of really supportive of the record executive was really supportive of Queen, but they did not think Bohemian Rhapsody was a good idea because, well, it's a 6-minute song. But my biggest problem, back to that, is literally 6 weeks before Live Aid, or 8 weeks before Live Aid, they had just finished a tour together. So there was no having to get back together. There was no I'm sorry. There was none of that dramatic thing that happened where they're like, oh no, we haven't talked for 3 years and now I gotta make amends. No, they literally put out an album in '84 or '83, '84 I think. Live Aid was '85, I want to say.
I don't know.
And so anyway, they had toured like 8 weeks beforehand, so it wasn't a big thing. Plus, they had sort of set up to be in Live Aid because the timing was actually set up specifically so that it was prime time in Britain and it was still catching like dinner or early dinner in the United States for the time zones. So Freddie and Queen planned exactly how to do it. Now they did recreate the last part of the Live Aid, which was cool, although they did reveal that, spoiler alert, Freddie admitted that he had AIDS right before they went to Live Aid, which isn't true because he wasn't even tested until '87, and he didn't actually admit to having AIDS to his band until like '88, I think. He didn't admit to the world till like 14 hours before he died, was when he announced a press release.
Yeah, I read that on his Wikipedia.
He kept it. He didn't want to be that champion, so they did portray that well. But overall, I like the movie. I would say go see it in theaters because I just don't think, unless you have a massive surround sound system, you can't do it justice. But everybody in the band, Roger and the whole gang, they did really well casting actors and portraying them, so you could really get lost in it. They looked exactly like their real-life counterparts, so... Overall, I like the film. I don't know if I'd go back and see it in theaters again, maybe if it was cheap, but I would recommend you go out and see it. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it's... And like I said, they had to add dramatic license into it to a point. It is a PG-13 rating, so they were very soft on a lot of... Freddie's partying. Like, his 41st birthday was supposedly this ginormous bash, and they show it, but that's where sort of they have this breakup with the band thing, and that wasn't actually accurate, but it was supposed to be this legendary debauchery party that was supposed to be amazing, and so they kind of kept quiet about that. So overall, though, I like the film. What do you think? So this is a random May reviews, so on that note, I'm the Gamer.
I'm May.
And this was reviews, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, have a good evening. Thanks for watching.